Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
Hello there, welcome to 15 Minutes of Genius. This is a special edition giving back episode, and this is the first time we've ever done this. So I connected with a gentleman named Luke Vernon. So he is a founder, managing partner at Ridgeline Ventures, and also founder of Luke's Circle, looking everything up here. This is a little bit on the fly because we planned all of this today, to be honest. And we decided we're going to start these giving back episodes at least twice a year, if not once a quarter. So when some major event happens where there's victims and they've been stricken and they've lost everything, or something really that people just need help and they need support, we're going to bring on individuals that are helping with a cause and a fund to raise money for those victims. So today is Luke Vernon, and he is just spearheading and raising money for this fund and doing an amazing job on it. And it's called the Marshall Fire Family Relief Fund. He'll tell us more about it. They've already raised, as of today, which is January 6th, and this will be airing the next day, by the way. We're going to air this right away because this event just happened. They are raising money for the Boulder, Colorado fire that occurred last week. And he's already raised $385,000, which go directly to the families. So I'm going to let him explain more. So Luke, how are you?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's really a pleasure to be on here and just to bring this to the forefront of what's going on. And Boulder being such a hub of natural products in CPG and in some ways, and I'm in the industry myself as an investor and former operator. And what happened over the past week was just really tragic and sad. And on December 30th, about 2 miles south of my house, a fire was started. And that day there were winds raging from 70 up to 115 miles an hour in the area. It was hurricane-like force winds. And the fire blew it east. Fortunately, not towards my house, but unfortunately through this grassy plain, open space that Boulder protects, and it was jumping football field size lengths in just seconds. And you could see it just pummel over the horizon straight towards suburbia. And Louisville and Superior, those towns, part of Boulder County, just over the hill and on the edge of open space. I think as residents, you buy a house in a suburban neighborhood and you think fire is probably very unlikely, particularly wildfire. And they had literally seconds to get out of their house or minutes to get out of their house, and grabbing their kids, their pets if possible, and just going, and couldn't even take stuff with them. It was that fast, the 30-foot wall of flames coming at them. So it was really tragic. 1,600 acres. It blew through 1,000 homes,
Wow.
absolutely destroyed.
Mm.
And when you see the footage of what those homes and those neighborhoods look like, it looks like a nuclear bomb went off. I mean, there's nothing remaining except for ashes, and the winds were so furious that it just continued to carry it. So I have some family members who, along with the 30,000 people that were quickly evacuated, they were evacuated. And I know many people, a lot in the natural foods and natural products industry, who lost their homes. And it's just tragic. So my wife and I very quickly jumped into action, and we're fortunate that we have a real deep network and some great relationships with businesses and executives and leaders. And we started GoFundMe and quickly started raising money. And the whole point was, when you look at what happened there, people just lost everything, absolutely everything. And they, this could have happened to anyone, really. And they couldn't take anything with them. And the sad part is that in most of these situations, many people were either uninsured if they were renting, and 30% of homes are typically rented, in the case of people who owned, the vast majority were underinsured. So if you were to go check your home policy right now, where home values are, I guarantee that you're underinsured. And so people have a huge gap and can't rebuild, not to mention the income level, is often, is not nearly as high in that area. So we started this GoFundMe, spread it through our networks, and quickly started raising money. And some people jumped on, and just have to give a lot of credit to Craig Speasley, CEO of Yasso, and the executive leadership team there. They jumped on board very quickly, and we're like, we have to make a difference. And they put in $100,000. Several other companies have put in money. Bobo's, Hoplark, Justin's just came in last night. Presence Marketing just came in today. Many others. Raison d'etre, Bakery, 34 Degrees. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the reality is, people need money in their pockets now. They don't have any clothes on their back. They don't have supplies. They're living in a basement. I got an email today of people camping in a tent that they were out of town. A lot of people were out of town, and they just couldn't even get back.
Yeah.
Pets were lost, you name it. So we're raising money, and we're putting money in the pockets of these families who really need it right now. My wife and I handed out about $200,000 so far this week.
Wow.
2 families, and hearing their stories it's a lot of tears were shared both sides, and it's really terrible. So I'm here to spread the word and build awareness. So grateful, Alex, that you're allowing me to do that. And this is going right into their pockets. And they are having a hard time. FEMA is not, reacting and providing the funding immediately that they need. Insurance companies, it's cumbersome, and we're able to move quickly and do it. So thanks to our partners for helping to support and build this awareness. We've now targeted a $500,000 goal, with our sights hopefully set on $1 million over the next 30 or so days.
Yeah, I could see you hitting $1 million on this, given how powerful the cause is, and $1 million. Obviously, we got to continue raising more, because there's so many families that were affected. You said there were, thousands of homes, thousands of families. So the QR code that you see on your screen, by the way, we're going to have it here for a majority of this episode. On the bottom right, you take your phone. It goes right to that GoFundMe page. As mentioned, currently at $385,000. I think you said you have another 30 or 40,000 committed on top of that. So this should be, by the time we air this, which is January 7th, will be somewhere in the 400,000. So this is amazing. It's inspiring that so many brands and people have stepped up to donate to this cause. And so a story about how I heard about what Luke was doing was your post where you showed up and gave out literally checks, nearly $200,000 directly into people's pockets, like no strings attached. Like, it's not a loan. It's not like, it's literally just money that they can cash right away and use to get back on their feet. And it's truly inspiring, like, what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing to help these families and help these people that have been deeply affected by the Boulder fires. And one thing just to make really clear is that besides a very, very, like, a small GoFundMe cut, which they take it on every campaign, everything else, 100%, goes to these families. It doesn't go to anyone else. There's no overhead to cover. Literally, Luke is just literally writing these checks directly to the families. So it's amazing what you're doing, and this episode is just getting that word out. So even though we have the QR code here, what is the Mark? Can you also display the address for the GoFundMe, or what? I guess you can tell us, Luke, while he's doing that. What's the URL for the GoFundMe page?
Yeah, it's GoFundMe.com/F/Boulder. It's pretty long here.
Okay.
GoFundMe.com/F/Boulder-Louisville-Fire-Relief Fund.
It's long. So maybe Google,
it's a long one.
Better way. If you go Google GoFundMe Boulder Fire, I'm pretty sure that we'll find it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other thing I'll say, Alex, too, is that, we have a very thorough application process that's actually very, very seamless user experience for these families, where they fill out a form, and we have a professional on the backside who is going through in-depth kind of research and investigation process. And for a living, he helps verify claims for property owners and otherwise, to ensure that they're legitimate claims. And so he is doing extensive verification on identity, on property tax records, IP address, you name it. And we're ensuring money's actually getting to people's hands who were truly affected. So that's a really important aspect to this. But, you know, the reality is that, Louisville was a hub of manufacturing in the natural products industry. And that's kind of one of the calls for help and support. Is that there's some great co-packers in that world. There's some great companies that, in that community. And a lot of those people have employees who lost homes and are really, really hoping that the community will help them out. So, and this is one way to do it. There's a lot of great causes out there. And I guess the other quick news, Alex, is that through some partnerships with the state of Colorado, we've been able to fast track a 501c3 designation that will be, I just found out today that we have, and we're going to be rolling out here in the next, either end of day tomorrow or shortly after. So
That's great. That's great. And it's amazing that you fast tracked it. I remember when in my nonprofit previous life, it took months to do it on our side with the government. So I'm glad that they acted fast on this, for this cause. So it's amazing. I want to see this go above 500,000 by the weekend. That would be phenomenal. So please, anyone watching, this is also going to be broadcasted on Apple Podcast and Spotify. You could be listening to this, the day of, the next day, even a week, 2 weeks later, a month later. Please, please donate to this cause, whether it's, if you don't have a lot of money, even $50, $25 makes a difference. If you have some money, please make it higher so that we can get as much money back to these families as humanly possible. So thank you again, Luke, for doing this. And it's a great cause, and appreciate you, really appreciate you spending the time and energy to make this happen for the families. So, yeah.
It's important stuff. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And this is kind of on the lighter side. The reason that this happened so quickly, because again, we usually set our roster about a month in advance or 2 months in advance as we get into the new year for 15 Minutes of Genius. And one of our guests, I'll leave him unnamed, but he came down with COVID, and he emailed us this morning. And Luke and I were talking about getting him scheduled after I saw his post about giving money back, nearly 200,000. I'm like, I got to get him on. We got to do it quickly while this cause is happening and the fund is raising, and for the families. And we were going to get him either next week or on January 27th, but we didn't want to wait that long, right? I wanted to get him this week. Someone canceled right after we went back and forth, and I said, let's get you right in. And then he said, yes, let's do this. So that's how this happened so fast. So let's just on the lighter note, let's talk about you, for the next 5 to 10 minutes. I want to hear about what you do, your passions. Obviously, you're in Boulder, where the natural food industry is alive and thriving. But tell us more about Ridgeline Ventures and also Luke Circle, as much as you would like to share.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so I had the opportunity to lead a company here in Boulder called Eco Products for a number of years, and we had a great run and had a really good exit. They're really the leader in sustainable food packaging, and after that, decided to transition to investing, and ultimately, with our founding partner Ridgeline, we opened the office in Boulder, and decided really the idea was to do something, try to invest differently. And I know every investment firm says that they're unique and different, and I think what makes us unique and different is that we don't have any outside investors in our firm. It's all internal capital, and what that means for us is that we don't put any time horizons on our investments or artificial liquidity deadlines. We really try to go into businesses and not try, we go into every business, and the conversation's not how quickly can you sell? It's really how do we build the best business, most sustainable, and make the best decisions to do that, and in a great culture, because that's really what we valued in growing our companies. So we have a tremendous team of four with a lot of experience, and we have done minority investing, and really lately our focus has been more on majority stake opportunities. And we recently bought a business, for example, out of San Francisco. It's called Raison d'Etre Bakery, and they have a brand of Parmesan cheese crisp called Perfectly Crisp in Whole Foods. And the founding family started it, ran it for 25 years, and was looking for someone to really kind of help lead it. And so we partnered with them, and are helping them take it to the next level. And we really like to get involved in that manner. So really acting friendly, and really looking for values minded, and we want to work with people we like. That's kind of the most important thing where we are in our careers. So and then Luke's Circle is an online job board. I started that over 10 years ago when I was running Eco Products, and it was really just started as an email list, and trying to find employees for us to hire. And some of my colleagues at other companies were having trouble doing the same thing, and so just started an email list, and it just snowballed. And so there's about 15,000 members, and it's become a great resource here locally, as well as in the natural foods community, where people can sign up and get the latest and greatest job postings at some of the hottest kind of emerging companies in these markets. And so love helping people connect with places that they love to work, because at the end of the day, when I was an operator, that's really what I got the most value out of, is really trying to make a great place to work, and wanting people to really love what they do.
Exactly. Yeah, culture, right? Culture is so vital
Yeah.
with any company, right? And it can make or break a company, as you know. And Luke's Circle, I think of Craigslist, kind of like like just
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah.
So I
Sure.
think Luke's
Yeah.
Circle is like a job board for Craigslist, but at least
Yeah.
with Craigslist, you won't feel scared with Luke's Circle. With Craigslist, you could
Yeah.
show up
Yeah.
for an interview in a dark alley, and then they'll rob you. I just don't trust Craigslist, man.
Yeah.
There's so many like scammers on there now that
Yeah.
it's whatever brand equity they had has been lost, because I just can't even go on there anymore. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I understand.
So, what are some brands that you have invested in on the minority side, and just historically? I'd love to learn more about that. And what's your investment ethos? Is it seed? Is it Series A? Are you lead? Do you tack on with the Series A lead? Just for any brands watching, love to learn more
Sure
about that.
thing. Sure thing. Yeah. So categorically, it's better for you is how we describe it. So we just want to feel good about investing in companies that, products we want to give our kids, and that are really going to help make an impact on the world and on people's lives. And so that spans both natural foods as well as active lifestyle. So on the active lifestyle front, we're invested in Cotopaxi, which is really one of the fastest growing outdoor gear and apparel companies. And they've had a phenomenal ride, and have secured some pretty significant funding from Bain Capital recently too. So really excited about where they're going. The Pros Closet, which is the largest online seller of bikes in the world right now, and we invested in them when they were sub 10 million in revenue. Same with
Hmm.
Cotopaxi. So really excited about on the active lifestyle side. And we have a few others, great companies as well. But to keep it short, on the food side, Bobo's here in Boulder
Yep.
is one of our portfolio companies as well. And TJ, who runs that business, and the whole team is just phenomenal. And so it's been a really, really fun business to be a part of. Um, as I mentioned, Raison d'Etre Bakery, talked about Bonafide Provisions, which is the leading frozen bone broth out there, and we have a few others as well. So always looking in terms of stage. We've done some, certainly seed and early stage. I think typically, right now we're really focused on finding, founders and families and leaders who are looking for someone to, help them take some money off the table, to mitigate their risk, and also, help them take it to the next level. So typically that's majority a stake in a very friendly manner, and we've looked at, we've certainly done a lot of minority in the kind of $3 to $10 million check size range as well.
Got it. Great. Yeah, the Bobo's Bonafide Provisions, like what I noticed the pattern is these are all brands that really are clean. They're great for you, and they, compared to other products that are next to them, it's just hard to compare, just the level of quality. And these are brands that I have. I buy Bobos at Sprouts all the time. Bonafide, I had COVID 3 weeks ago, and shout out to Miles Zuckerman. He actually lives near me in the South Bay of California, and he got me, like, I was so sick I couldn't even like leave my bed, and he just gave me product. He gave me like free coupons to go get it at Sprouts or to do Instacart, and yeah, like that. The chicken broth like saved my life. That's what really helped to feel better and get better. That and 20 hours of sleep a day. So very cool. Yeah, you're part of some really great brands that you've invested in, and it's awesome to hear that. You just want to do better for the consumer ultimately. So anyway, we are out of time, but I'm glad we got in both the information about the relief fund, the Marshall Fire Family Relief Fund, and also we got to hear about Luke with Ridgeline Ventures. He's a managing partner, and also Luke Circle. So again, Mark, if you can display just that QR code one more time for us. There it is. Just take your phone. You can do it it's all on GoFundMe. Please donate what you can, comfortably. Right now, again, they're at 385,000, which is amazing for literally just being less than a week, right? When you launch this fund, Luke?
Day 5.
Day 5.
Day 5 right now.
That's amazing. Just it's really just touching that how many people are coming out to support this, right? Just right away, no hesitation. So let's get this to 500,000, and then let's get this to 1 million. Let's help these families out. If you don't want to do QR, go on Google and search for Marshall Fire Family Relief Fund, GoFundMe, and I'm sure you'll find it. Luke, anything else you'd like to mention?
No, thank you. It means a lot. And, I think we all go through times in our lives in which we experience challenges. And, I think I hope anyone listening who's part of that, and lost their home, realizes that people are out there and we really want to help them get back on their feet.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Well, you're the man for putting this all together and spending time and energy. And I can only imagine just the look on the family, on their faces, right? The mother, the father, the children, that they don't know where they're going to get money from. Their insurance didn't cover their home or didn't cover enough. And now they're in debt and getting a check where they can actually buy food, get housing, get an apartment, get a hotel. It's a world of difference when they're down so much, this type of money. So thank you again, man, from the heart for doing this. It's amazing.
Thank you.
All right. So this is the 15 Minutes of Genius special edition Giving Back episode for the Marshall Fire Family Relief Fund for the fires in Boulder, Colorado that happened starting, in late 2021 and carried into 2022. And at least luckily, out of this horrific event, it snowed in Boulder, and it actually put out the fire, what fire was left. So at least we had something redeeming event that happened to at least stop the fire quickly, as quickly as we could, as nature could, I should say. All right, so again, this is 15 Minutes of Genius special edition. Thank you for listening to this or viewing this. Please go on and donate right now. And my famous final words: stay genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.